the significant news that the complete and utter control over the Russian people, who have been successfully and systematically turned into a compliant herd, will now become absolutely total, has rapidly turned into a truly huge and widespread public scandal. And starting from the 1st of September 2025, at first they'll begin issuing fines, and then even imprison people simply for searching for and reading extremist materials on the internet. Yes, this is not, some fantasies are absolutely real documents. Russian fascism really does, in fact, forbid people from knowing reality. Fascism has indeed returned so triumphantly and taken deep root in Russia precisely and specifically because it became entirely possible to easily and efficiently revive the infamous gulags, those brutal Soviet forced labor camps, once again. But the gulags have also evolved, and today there's no longer any need for all those machine gun towers, kilometers of barbed wire, or tons of bleach to sprinkle over layers of corpses in execution pits. You don't even need to feed the prisoners anymore. They earn their own money now for some entertainment and food. That's technology for you. Technology, of course, has breathed new life into the gulag in Russia and given the gulag fantastic new possibilities. There's no need for traditional camps anymore. There is, let's say, a much greater potential for expansion now than there was in 1937, or, for example, during the Brezhnev era. During the Brezhnev era, a young pioneer could safely pee on the eternal flame every day if he wanted to. But today, that pioneer would be hanged within an hour. Such a level of control was impossible, even in the concentration camps of either the Reich or the USSR. And now, thanks specifically to technology and its capabilities, the entire country is, of course, being transformed and reformatted into this concentration camp. If Vladimir Putin stays alive and nothing within the current political structure completely falls apart, if they continue to meticulously build their increasingly wild, senile system, then it's completely unclear just how far, to what extreme forms of violence they might ultimately go. And the real point of interest isn't today's news about checking and punishing for VPN use, but rather the direction of the trend. It's very intriguing to see just how far the regime will go. The regime is panicked, hysterical, and sadistic. By the way, it's a regime that is in fact a reflection of its leader carrier of all the personal traits of its chief, its dictator. It's clear that this public humiliation of the people and the regime's lawlessness will continue and reach the point of complete absurdity. We won't try to predict exactly what kind, but it will definitely happen because there's a trajectory from which they won't deviate. A human being, after all, is a creature that will always commit any vile act that he is allowed to. And Putin has given carte blanche for torture, not only in prisons, but everywhere and in everything. There are, as we know, many ways to suffocate someone. It's really just a matter of taste at this point. You can suffocate someone by tightening a noose around their neck. You can suffocate someone by compressing their chest. You can block their airways. There are other ways too. There are plenty of clever methods. But what we see now, thanks to what's happening in Russia, is that something remarkable and interesting has come to light. It was known before, but now it has been scientifically and widely confirmed. So it has been discovered and established that humiliation is also an excellent method of subjugation and control. Obsessive, shameless, and regular humiliation can increase the submissiveness of the masses. And this whole story, even this situation with VPNs and extremism, it's pure humiliation. A handful of half-witted individuals from various ministries of justice or Roskomnadzor who possess neither talent nor knowledge dictate the rules of life to millions, tens of millions of adults who are not always foolish. Moreover, we can see that this desire to humiliate is growing stronger and stronger. And there are plenty of enforcement. And once again, this brings us back to fascism. What is so bad about fascism anyway? The fact that it inevitably brings degenerates to power, while all those so-called smart or relatively decent people are still adapting to this cannibalistic reality, while they are reflecting, agonizing, making difficult moral choices, and even offering some internal resistance. The degenerates have already managed to snatch up all the positions and start running the show. And later, when the so-called decent people, worn out from fighting the triumphant evil, are finally ready to serve the regime, there is no place for them in power. The degenerates, well, the degenerates have already grabbed everything. At this point, if we look calmly and objectively from Kravtsov, Medinsky, and all the rest, there is simply no one in the Russian leadership, in the entire power vertical, whom you could label as anything other than a degenerate. And of course, a decent person who also wants to serve fascism simply can't push through the crowd of Volodins, the Jigurdas, Prilepins, and Slutskys. And degenerates are especially bad because they love to impose their own rules. They demand that everyone have the same tastes as they do, the same mannerisms as they do, and they are absolutely convinced of their own rightness. No, seriously, please, just write, I'll agree. Write me the name of at least one non-degenerate in the leadership of the Russian Federation. Come on, please, write it.